interstate.
But you certainly can't see around the corner many times where it's very narrow. Oh, 2 cars can get by here easily. I'm getting jaded. So went much of our conversation on the roads in Cornwall that are just so unique to this part of the world. We began our day relaxing before exploring places close to our home exchange cottage. This is Polzeath, a little town near where we're staying. Our first stop was Polzeath, a cute little seaside resort village centered on the beach. From the beachfront car park, we could see surfing, beachcombing, and people enjoying time with their furry 4-footed friends. We stopped at a little shop to grab a quick bite and talked with a very interesting Englishman on holiday with his wife and dog. We're going to try a traditional steak pasty.
How old is your dog?
Oh, she's 11. She's 11, yeah.
Just had a wonderful conversation with an Englishman who is a doctor. Still practicing, I think, and met some interesting, nice people.
For our second stop of the day, we headed to catch a ferry from Rock to the town and fishing port of Padstow. You cannot believe how high the hedges are and how narrow the roads are till you see them in person.
Yeah, it's hard to describe.
And if you see somebody else, you have to figure out a way.
Just thankful nobody else is on the road but us right now.
Here comes our ferry. We're headed over to Padstow. As we waited for the ferry, we heard one woman's story. This lady has been hiking around Cornwall for 3 days, right?
Yeah, only 3 this time.
Oh, okay.
Some people do the whole path, and that takes, I think, about 56 days you can do it in. It's a long way. It's 630 miles in total.
Padstow is another waterfront town of just several thousand people with a cute harbor area and lots of shops and restaurants. We explored the waterfront, perused shops, and glanced into bakeries before looking for a midday snack.
All right, let's see here.
A short time later, we made our way back to an interesting-looking place near the ferry landing, the Shipwrights, for a tasty bite. We've got some small plates to share. Shrimp and croquettes and fish and chips. What else? Ice cream.
Ice cream after lunch.
We are the only 2 passengers on this ferry coming back from Padstow.
Right. back to Rock. Is it Rock? Well, it was nice. It was fun.
Yeah, Ron didn't have to drive too much today.
Yay! Well, you can see those hedgerows for sure.
Here's one that's kind of tight.
We'll hope and pray we don't see any other cars coming at us.
It looks wider on the video than it really is. It's wall to wall. Home sweet home. That evening, we headed back out for dinner. We're trying out a place called Pity Me Inn.
We don't know what that name means. What did you have there, dear? I asked you with your mouth full, of course.
A salad with prosciutto and goat cheese and pig. Very good.
I had some kind of a chowder that was quite good.
I like to fancy myself a donut connoisseur, so the next morning we drove to Wadebridge on our way to St. Ives because I'd heard there was a great donut shop there. Ron likes to humor me, so we went. We looked around the little downtown, which was very quiet at the time, and hunted for a place for breakfast.
Well, Bev, we've come to our last full day of our trip, and we're getting ready to have breakfast. But tell me just one highlight of our trip. What's a highlight for you?
I think the hosts at our place in the West Midlands.
Yes.
That was a real highlight. They were so fun and so entertaining.
They really were. We just became friends with them.
Yeah.
And they're
I
just,
imagine they become friends with everyone.
they're just good at it. They're really good at that. Easy.
So I think meeting them, that was a highlight.
I do too. I agree with that.
After eating at Tim's place, we hit the donut shop. I confess that I don't remember what I thought of the donuts. I suspect we were just too full from breakfast to give it a fair try. We drove on from there to St. Ives through some beautiful country. This is the view from the car park. We truly almost gave up and drove out of town because we couldn't find any place to park. But we finally found a huge car park. We didn't think we were going to get to see St. Ives. We could not find a place to park.
We had given up.
But we're so glad that they have buses from the parking lot that we finally found. The shuttle bus from a car park way up on a hill dropped us near the waterfront, and we walked several blocks until we came to a maze of narrow cobblestone lanes filled with shops and eateries, as well as St. Ives Parish Church. There has been Christian worship on the site since the 5th or 6th century, but the current church was built between 1410 and 1434 and features a tower over 80 feet tall. Oh my goodness, look at all the people. Is this the big draw?
Babies get a bit of a wild ride in it on this road. Bumpity bumpity bump bump bump.
People were sitting and walking by the waterfront, enjoying the day and apparently taking a break from their normal. A memorial garden in town, just across from the church, honors veterans of several wars and is a tranquil spot in the center of the city. And before we left, of course, we found another place to sample a bit of dessert.
Wow. Pretty rich.
Is it a tart or a custard?
Custard tart.
Our last stop that day was at Land's End, the iconic westernmost land in South England. We weren't so much interested in the buildings and activities there as the tremendous views across the Atlantic. Amazing to think that years ago people started across the ocean not knowing what they would discover on the other side. We were there at the end of the day, and by the time we saw the stunning vistas, almost everything was closed. I'm sure it was probably bustling earlier in the day. First and last postbox in England. After a long drive back from Land's End, we were hungry when we arrived home. We headed back to a pub we visited when we first arrived, but they were not serving food. Unbeknownst to us, our Cornwall home exchange host spotted us, followed us back to the house, and offered more of her own fresh eggs so we could have eggs and toast for dinner. One of our favorites. We thought that was so kind. Join us next week for the last of our England adventures, at least for now, when we visit Stonehenge and stay at a Heathrow Airport hotel. Thanks for watching.